A new Wordle puzzle is online. Click on the link to play.
Listening to the following video may give you clues. Please like and share the videos.
Expat entrepreneur Mike Swigunski lives on $1,592 a month. According to the article, Swigunski makes between $250,000 and $275,000 a year.
He works from home and hires a personal chef to prepare his meals. He spends a month on rent, a 2-bedroom apartment, and other expenses.
Swigunski lives in a 2-bedroom apartment, which he found through a realtor. Because he does not enjoy cooking in Florida, he has a personal chef prepare his meals for him.
Swigunski's annual income is between $0 and $0. Swigunski started her business 4 years ago, capitalizing on her experience working remotely and traveling.
Today, she runs a website that provides information about entrepreneurship for digital nomads, as well as offering job boards and workshops. She hopes to help other digital nomads, too, and is happy to report that her annual income hovers around $250,000 and $275,000 a year.
The tax advantages in her home state of Georgia are another factor for her wealth. There is a one tax rate for small business owners in Georgia, and expats can exempt up to $0 of revenue from taxes.
He missed his family and friends back in the U.S., but he is happier in Tbilisi than anywhere else. In fact, he plans to stay in Tbilisi as long as possible, so that he can continue to build his business.
As of 2018, his annual income is between $0 and $0, a significant amount of money compared to many Americans. Swigunski's monthly income varies depending on his workload.
Despite the lack of personal time, he enjoys his morning coffee in his garden and meditation before logging into work. He works either from home or a co-working space in Atlanta.
He also pays a personal chef a month to cook his meals. His annual income is between $0 and $0 and is expected to grow.
He works from home. Mike Swigunski, a 33-year-old former software engineer, recently moved to Tbilisi, Georgia, from New York City.
The company he founded specializes in connecting digital nomads with local employers. The company offers workshops, coaching, and job boards.
Swigunski earns between $250,000 and $275,000 annually. He takes advantage of tax breaks in both the U.S.
and Georgia, which allows expats to exclude up to $0 in income. Swigunski was attracted to Tbilisi's laid-back atmosphere and old-world charm.
Now, he lives in Tbilisi as a nomadic entrepreneur, earning a higher quality of life for less money. The 33-year-old, who graduated from the University of Missouri in 2011, says that the low cost of living in Tbilisi has a great impact on his life.
He uses a personal chef to cook meals. After leaving us in 2012, this 33-year-old now spends the majority of his time living in Tbilisi, Georgia.
Though he is homesick for his family and friends, he's happier in the small country than anywhere else and plans to stay there for the rest of his life. To cut down on the cost of living, Swigunski hires a personal chef 6 days a week.
After studying at the University of Missouri, Swigunski was offered a job in Prague, Czech Republic, but decided against it after he fell in love with Tbilisi's relaxed atmosphere and culture. Today, he lives in Tbilisi as a Bedouin entrepreneur and earns $0 a year.
His low-cost lifestyle has allowed him to live a better life than he would have had if he'd stayed in the U.S. Swigunski works from home, sometimes at a coffee shop or co-working space.
While it can be hard to adjust to such a lifestyle change, he says the country's people are incredibly welcoming. The hospitality is also exceptional, with many people saying a guest is a gift from God.
A pandemic in Tbilisi closed borders to foreign nationals, resulting in a high number of people being trapped in an isolated foreign country. Mike Swigunski, a 33-year-old from Chicago, had only planned to stay in Georgia for 30 days, but he ended up spending more than half his time there.
The state's strict stance on the COVID virus is not helping the situation. He says Georgians are more welcoming of foreigners.
The cost of living in Georgia is much lower than in the U.S., and most businesses don't open until 10 a.m. Swigunski spends most of her day working at home, though she also visits a co-working space or coffee shop.
She says that Georgians don't necessarily treat guests as a gift from God, but the people she meets there are friendly and welcoming. She is sad to leave her friends and family in the United States, but says she is happier living in Tbilisi than in any other city.
He traveled 6,000 miles to escape the heat and stress of the U.S. His initial plan was to stay in Georgia for 30 days.
But when the COVID-19 pandemic struck the United States, Georgia shut its borders and he was stuck in a country with no friends or family. Luckily, he was able to extend his stay in Tbilisi, Georgia.
Although Swigunsky still misses his friends and family in the U.S., he is much happier in Tbilisi. He has set up an online resource for digital nomads that lists job boards and provides workshops.
He earns about $0 a year and will likely be spending much of his income in Georgia. There are many other reasons why Swigunsky chose to move to Georgia.
His move to Georgia was inspired by the country's relaxed culture. He fell in love with the old-world charm of the city and the welcoming people.
Now he lives as a Bedouin businessman in Tbilisi on a budget of a month. And while he's not making as much money as he would in the US, he's getting a better quality of life than he ever thought possible.